In this video, we're going to go over the basics of the stimulus step in SoundCheck. The stimulus step generates a waveform which then appears in the memory list. Only one waveform can be created by any given stimulus step. A calibrated signal path is assigned, and the calibration data and units are then applied to the step. Once it's in the memory list, it can then be used in an acquisition step or played from the signal generator. It's important to remember that the stimulus step does not play back the stimulus, although it can be previewed. Let's take a look at how this works in SoundCheck. I have a sequence open here, and now I want to add a stimulus step. In the sequence editor under step templates, we can see that we have a lot of options over here under stimulus. These are some defaults that we can just grab and drop right into a sequence. So I'm going to choose sweep 10 kHz to 100 Hz R40. We'll go over what those mean in more detail in the sweep video. Once I drop this step into the sequence, it will first ask me for my output signal path. Whatever I choose here will then reference calibration and then use those sensitivities and units. So I'll select amp channel 1 and then hit OK. Once it's inserted in the sequence editor will also show input or output paths. This is the basic view of the stimulus editor. Here at the top, we can select what stimulus type we are using. When I switch to frequency log sweep, most of the controls in the step will change. Each stimulus type has its own parameters that need to be set. For now, we'll just go over what's available in every stimulus step. We'll look at the stimulus-specific parameters in their own videos. So first, I have a checkbox here for Advanced View. I'll enable that so we can see all of the options available to us. Hitting Cancel will close the step without saving any changes made. Hitting OK will save the step and save the changes just in the sequence. It will not affect the original step template. Save As will save our current configuration as either a new step template or to overwrite an existing one. Over in the templates, we also have created a new stimulus template called Example Stimulus. Revert will undo any changes to the step, but leave the step open. So here, if I just change some values, I can hit revert and bring them back to the original. Load will allow us to select another step template. Then I'll click revert to bring us back to our sweep. The update button will change the graph in the top that's representative of the stimulus. If I bring this level from 100 mV to 1 volt and look at the top, we're still at 100 mV RMS. Without hitting update, changing step parameters will not actually change the display. Play will play back the stimulus out of the signal path selected. This is a good way to test what the stimulus sounds like without actually having to add an acquisition step. View Table will open up a different view for the stimulus. I'm going to go over that in more detail in the second video. Output path changes the output signal path in use. When we first added this to the sequence, we selected amp channel 1, so the sensitivity of amp channel 1 and the units, which are volts, are in use in this step. We can change this output path here. So if I switch this to mouth sim, which is measured in pascals, our step will update to reflect that. The custom stimulus name is just the way to change what the stimulus is in the sequence. If we go to Setup Memory List under the Waveform tab, we can see this matches what our template originally was. Now if I change this custom name to Custom Name and click Update, our memory list will now say Custom Name. When using multiple stimulus steps, this can help keep track of each one. If the output signal path has been calibrated with an equalization curve, checking Apply EQ will then apply it to the stimulus. The output path I am using, MouthSim, does have an equalization curve, So I'll click on that here, click Update, and the stimulus itself will update to accommodate for the frequency response of the mouth. If I choose something that hasn't been equalized, such as direct out 1, which is just a flat response, and update this, then the stimulus itself looks the same with or without EQ.